Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're taking a big step back. We're going to look at the whole shebang, the grand tapestry of reality. We're taking this massive mountain of scientific data we've got and looking at it through a slightly different, kind of more profound lens. Our goal today? To connect the absolute tiniest building blocks of existence to the most unimaginably huge structures out there in space. It's a journey of scale, of hard science, and honestly, of just profound beauty. So grab your notebooks, get comfortable, and let's get started on learning how to actually read the universe.
Okay, let's dive into this by looking at a pretty incredible contrast. Think about the microworld for a second. We're talking atoms, the insane complex machinery inside biological cells, the quantum realm where things are literally so small they completely defy human intuition, right? But then, zoom all the way out to the macro world. You've got burning stars, these massive swirling galaxies, the whole expanding fabric of space-time itself. Now, if you just looked at these two extremes completely on their own, you'd probably think, well, they must operate under totally different rules, right? But what scientists have actually found on this journey, from a tiny fundamental particle to a distant galaxy, is something completely different. At both extremes, and literally everywhere in between, we find the exact same staggering precision, order, and consistency.
And this brings us to a really fascinating conceptual shift. Because of all this overwhelming order, we have to realize that the universe isn't just some collection of random chaos or accidental collisions. Far from it. It's actually perfectly structured. It operates with such a specific grammar and syntax that it behaves a whole lot like a readable book. Just think about that for a second. When you read a book, you fully expect the letters to form words, the words to build into sentences, and those sentences to tell a coherent story. You'd be pretty shocked if the fundamental rules of the language is changed halfway through Chapter 3. Well, that is exactly how modern science is starting to view the structure of reality. The universe isn't just the static thing we look at, it's something we can actively interpret and read. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we can take that poetic idea, the universe as a book, and completely ground it in hard, undeniable empirical science. Cosmologists and physicists rely on these things called universal physical constants. And let's look at three big ones: gravity, the speed of light, and the Planck constant. First up, gravity. That's the force keeping our planets in orbit and giving galaxies their structure. Second, we've got the speed of light, which is the ultimate cosmic speed limit, and how we actually measure space itself. And third, the Planck constant. That's the core rule governing the microscopic quantum world of atoms. And what is so mind-blowing here, what essentially makes up the ink of our cosmic book, is that cosmologists confirm these exact constants apply everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're measuring a molecule in a lab here on Earth or tracking light from a galaxy billions of light years away, these numbers absolutely do not flinch. They are exactly the same.
So this whole idea builds into a formal scientific principle that we call universal consistency. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the observation that fundamental physical laws remain absolutely identical across the entire cosmos. Honestly, it's the only reason a scientist can sit at a desk at a university, peer through a telescope at an exploding star in the deepest, darkest corner of the universe, and mathematically understand exactly what is going on. The math works because the language is the same. This strict universal consistency is the ultimate bridge. It connects raw, hard data with human understanding. And it's the very reason scientists are naturally led to describe the universe as a readable text. The rules are just unbroken. So the really crucial point here is how all this data actually affects us. Because when human beings encounter this level of unbroken, absolute perfection, our response naturally elevates, doesn't it? It goes from pure mathematics to profound wonder. Actually, a great scholar of the past century beautifully summarized this exact scientific reality. They wrote, "The universe is a book of colorful pages, drawn by the pen of power, with no dark spots left behind." Just listen to the imagery there. Saying there are no dark spots left behind is really just another, much more beautiful way of saying there are absolutely no gaps in the laws of physics. There are no places where the order just suddenly breaks down into utter chaos. It's a flawless, completed manuscript authored with ultimate precision.
What I absolutely love about this is how it bridges two worlds we usually keep totally separate. You see, this poetry isn't just abstract art or, wishful thinking. Not at all. It's a profound, deeply human reaction to the exact same cosmic consistency that scientists are meticulously measuring with their instruments. The telescope reveals the hard data, and then the human mind translates that exact same data into awe and wonder. The poetry of the universe is really just the human translation of those universal physical constants we talked about. They are literally two sides of the identical coin, the empirical and the experiential, and they are both pointing directly to a perfectly ordered cosmos.
And this brilliantly illustrates the journey we've been on together. Think about it. We started out by observing the profound cosmic order from atoms to stars. Then, because of the sheer mathematical improbability and that rock-solid universal consistency, we effectively ruled out mere coincidence. It's just way too perfect to be an accident. Which brings us exactly to where we are right now, reading the universe as a unified language. We're confirming that the incredible scientific order we see all around us isn't random. It represents distinct, coherent sentences of a single, unified cosmic language.
Which leads us to a pretty breathtaking realization. If the entire universe, from the invisible, microscopic machinery of the tiniest atom, all the way to the sweeping, majestic arms of the largest galaxy, if all of it is written in the exact same language, following the exact same unbending rules, well, it points to a singular source. There is a single, unified signature written across all of reality. Our journey from the micro to the macro has peeled back the layers of the cosmos, only to reveal one undeniable, unifying signature. Because let's face it, a cohesive book implies a single coherent author. A grand design demands a grand designer. These physical laws aren't just a random collection of local ordinances, they are a universal decree.
But man, that leaves us standing on the edge of an incredible question. Think about this. If there is a single signature written across the entire cosmos, how can this signature be everywhere at once? I mean, how can the exact same authorial hand be actively sustaining the quantum spin of an electron right inside your own body, while simultaneously managing the gravitational pull of a supermassive black hole billions of light years away? This is the ultimate philosophical cliffhanger, and it sets the stage perfectly for the next phase of our journey, a phase we call the second position. We've read the book. Now it's time to ask how the ink gets on the page, absolutely everywhere, all at once. So ponder that question, keep your curiosity sharp, and I will see you in the next explainer to uncover the answer.